The next day, I get a message from my school's international office telling me that because I am pregnant, I should suspend my course. Why like that or that, Jemu? Welcome back to my channel. Very soon, I'll be introducing my guest to share her experiences in China. If it's something you like to watch, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I guess you were waiting for that guest. Anyway, the guest is none other than Mama C herself. So today, I want to do a story time of how I almost got suspended from doing my master's here in China. As you all know, I just graduated with a master's in public health from a very good university here in China, Nanjing City to be precise. So I think it was in the year 2022. That was when I gained admission into this university. And then it was during the COVID period. So the first part of our classes were done online because the whole country, that is China, was under lockdown, so no one could go out. So we did the first part of our classes online. I thought we were going to continue doing the rest of the classes online till I graduated or till we graduated. But then, God being so good, COVID was over, and then we had to go to the school, the campus, to meet our supervisors. So prior to that, prior to me, gaining admission, my husband and I decided, yes, my husband and I, because I'm married. At the time, I had one child, So my husband and I decided that if I gain admission, we would try for another child, So I gained admission and then we tried for another child, and God being so good, yes, I got pregnant. And usually for me, during the first 3 months of my pregnancy, I go through, a lot of changes, and some of the changes being that I'll be very sick and all that. So when we were asked to come and meet with our supervisors, I sent a message to my head of department that it would be difficult for me to go to school then to meet my supervisor, because I live at the outskirts of my city, that is Nanjing, which is like 2 hours away from my school. Yes. Well, let me backtrack a bit. Someone will ask why I lived, that far from my school. I lived that far from my school because remember I told you I was married, right? And then we had already moved to, this part of the city, And so that is where we had lived, for some time. My family and I had lived for some time. So we didn't feel the need to move closer to school, And moreover, I was a master's student. With masters, you only go to class for the first year in most schools in China, and then the rest you don't really have to be going to class unless you had experiments to do. That was the case with me. And also remember I told you that it was during the COVID period, so I didn't see the need to go and live close to school. So that was my problem at the time. So I lived 2 hours away from school, and then like I said earlier, during the first 3 months, I was often very sick. I felt nauseous, a whole lot. So I just sent the head of department that this was my condition at the moment, and then getting on the subway 2 hours to school wouldn't be so convenient for me. I could even end up, throwing up in the metro or in the subway and all that. Well, she didn't respond there and then, but the next day I get a message from my school's international office telling me that because I am pregnant, I should suspend my course. Mind you, when I was filling the forms for the school application, right, I stated in it that I was married, and I think during my interview to gaining admission, I also stated the fact that I lived with my family, and then I had a child also. And also I thought, well, I was married, so yes, as a married woman, I could, there was no problem, getting pregnant. Okay. And aside that, in other schools, like in my first school where I did my undergraduate, I had seen a lot of pregnant women, foreigners walk around, and they were never questioned. Some even lived on campus with their families, even in my husband's school, in other schools. So I thought it was normal in my new school. That is where I did my master's, right? Little did I know that the school did not allow that. Okay. So I get this message telling me to suspend for 1 year. What would you have done in my case? Oh, I got scared because well, I thought my head of department was a woman, so she would understand me. And well, I kind of understood the school to a point, because they felt I would use the pregnancy as an excuse not to complete my course and all that. So eventually I met with the head of department. Okay. And then she was so bent on me suspending the course. But then I told her I'll be able to do it, and that she should give me that opportunity or that chance, okay, to prove myself. There was a lot of back and forth. Eventually she agreed, but then she told me, because of my then situation, no supervisor or no teacher wanted to take me as their student. So it was very difficult. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and then she eventually got me this nice lady who eventually became my supervisor. Yes, yes, yes. And my supervisor was very good. She understood the situation. She even told me about the fact that she also had a daughter then who was also the same age as my older child or daughter. And then that was how I was able to complete my master's. It was a very tough journey, because of the fact that I was pregnant, and I would be on campus and people would be looking at me, because I think I was the first student to ever walk around with a big belly and all that. But being pregnant did not stop me from achieving whatever I wanted to achieve. And look at me now. I'm here, a graduate with a master's degree, and I'm very grateful. Yes, I'm very grateful to God for giving me this opportunity, and then my head of department for agreeing to allow me to continue the course, and then my supervisor. Without them, I wouldn't have come this far, and of course my family. Yeah. And then eventually I gave birth, and the rest is history. Yeah, guys, if you like story times like this, please write in the comment section. I'll bring you more. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.